If you wanna be crypto savvy, we can help you skip those valleys. Let's rally, yeah. If you wanna be crypto savvy, we can let
Welcome back to Be
investments
Crypto
carry.
Savvy. Thank you
Let's
for
rally.
jumping into the show. Appreciate you joining us today. We are jumping into Bitcoin and Ethereum with the help of the Genie range report as well. First things first, though, I do just want to quickly jump into the charts. You can see that we got a touch off our 20-day moving average, this yellow line here. Got a little bit of a bounce and sprung us back over that $30,000 level. I do still see this pulling back slightly. I think a good price range would be right about this green box, or actually right where the red and green box transition. I think would be a perfect spot to see this thing pull back to 28.5 would be an ideal spot in my opinion. Checking out Ethereum quickly on TradingView, you can see we are still knocking on the door of $2,100. Stochastic is in the overbought territory. However, that can spend a little bit of time up here. It wouldn't be out of the question to spend the rest of the weekdays in this overbought area before we start seeing that little bit of a pullback. Our 20-day moving average is quite a bit below us. We've got a couple levels of support up here. I'd say a $2,000 to about $2,025 would be that great level to see a slight pullback to after getting rejected from 2100. However, there is a lot of momentum in the market, and if we do happen to push through 2100, the next level is about 2700. So we do have a little bit of ways above us if we do happen to break through. So definitely something to keep an eye on. However, with the indicators that I'm looking at, I wouldn't anticipate that happening. That's my opinion. I think we'll more or less see some choppy sideways action in between our support and resistance band. But let's check out what the Genie range report has to say. First things first, we're going to get into Bitcoin. And if you are not familiar with what the Genie range report is, I'm going to throw up a video in the top right corner for you. That video explains everything you need to know about the range report, as well as how to get that for a 2-week free trial, as well as 10% off the already low price of only $20 thereafter. This is a report that can easily pay for itself in confirmation of entry and exit points. So I do believe this is a good value, and I will leave it at that. Let's get into the show, everybody. News and events. We do have about 5 or 6 new articles up here. Just as a reminder, you can easily click on any of these articles to read the full macro outlook on what's going on. I'm just going to read over the titles of these just so you have an idea of what's going on. Bitcoin mining and increasing energy bills, Senator Warren versus crypto Twitter. MicroStrategy's Sailor fuses work email address with Bitcoin Lightning. Question and answer corner. Bitcoin on the Federal Reserve's balance sheet. Lesser known Bitcoin indicator signals onset of major bull run. Cryptoverse, Bitcoin miners escape the bear trap. And the last new one on here is MicroStrategy Incorporated rose in Q1 on the Bitcoin gains. So that's kind of what the news and event section looks like. Over on the Bitcoin ticker, you can see that at the time of recording, we're sitting at $30,152 or $57. Sliding on down to the volatility forecast, opportunity zone, and relative value. This on the far left is today, Tuesday. Then you got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then the weekend. So it looks like there could be a possible great opportunity zone for dollar cost averaging, or possible placements for your in and out trading. So definitely something to consider throughout the rest of the week. We were just looking at candles. We're not going to spend time there. Checking out the RSI versus a 7-day and 30-day. You can see over the course of 7 days, we are still working our way up. We are up to a 62. Once we get to that 70 line, that does indicate an overbought territory. If you slide over to the Bitcoin RSI over the course of 30 days, you can see that we are starting to see that pullback down to a 58 currently. I would like to see this get all the way down to that 30 line in order to really build up the strength and momentum to be able to have another solid push to the upside. That would be pretty stellar if you ask me. If we check out the Bitcoin MACD over 30 days, you can see that we did get the bearish cross that we were looking for. That bearish cross indicates that there could be a possible price pullback in the near future. Same thing that the stochastic will tell you. We got our bearish cross back on the 14th, and we've seen a huge pullback in our stochastic ever since then. The stochastic versus the RSI. The RSI has an overbought and oversold limit set at 70 and 30, as you can see here. When you get above the 70 line, that's overbought. When you get below the 30 line, that's underbought. Whereas the stochastic, those lines are set up as the 80 and the 20 line. So as we are down into the 36 area, we do still have a little bit more ways to go on our stochastic, as that is set up at 20 versus 30. Over on the average price over 30 days, let me hide those candles, and you can see that we had been putting in higher highs and higher lows. However, we are now seeing a little bit of a farther dip, setting in a new lower low. So something to keep an eye on. Is that going to be something that continues, or just a quick little twitch and back to the races we shall go? Bitcoin on balance volume over 30 days, you can see that we have seen a slight pullback and decrease. However, this is still extremely high. Average directional movement, anything over 25 is reading the strength of a trend. However, this indicator does not tell you which direction that trend is moving, just the strength of the trend in particular, which we are reading a 38, which is the strongest our Bitcoin trend has been over the past 30 days. The Bitcoin Ultimate Oscillator has gone from being in the 50s for about a week and a half, jumped up to the 60s, and pulled back down into the 40s now. Although still very neutral, if you ask me. For probably the past 3 weeks or so, we've been very neutral on our Bitcoin Ultimate Oscillator. As far as our parabolic stop and reversal indicator, after seeing 12 straight buy dots printed beneath our candles, we finally switched to a sell dot, which we have been talking about the last couple days. And with the stop and reversal, we do like to see 3 straight dots printed for a good solid confirmation within this one indicator. Over on the Fibonacci retracement, you can see that after we got our touch just shy of 31,000, we did see a great pullback here. The Bitcoin candles with Hikaki, we did just switch to our first unconfirmed bull signal, so something to keep an eye on here. The Bitcoin Kopot curve, after seeing several bounces on that zero line, we are still in that upward movement direction. And that's going to do it for Bitcoin. Let's jump down to historical, where you can see that this report is kicking out a 92% accuracy rate on the MAPE score. Let's jump over into Ethereum now. Ethereum, to me, throughout this next week looks very choppy, sideways action. However, the difference between Bitcoin and Ethereum, which we covered on one of our previous videos, is your relative value is about midway through your opportunity zone, meaning that you can really get a good value for Ethereum, whereas Bitcoin, you're really kind of paying that premium no matter where you're buying it, because the relative value is so much lower than where the price point is. So as far as the week for Ethereum, I am looking at this just kind of chopping around, kind of like what we were talking about, kind of chopping around in between our support and resistance zones here. So that is telling me that we have confirmation for what we're seeing. Not spending time on the candles or the RSI, as we kind of touched on both of those. On the Ethereum MACD, you can see that we've gotten a couple bounces and still haven't seen that cross in the MACD, indicating a bearish price pullback. However, on the stochastic, you can see that we just saw that bearish cross, and we are also highly in that overbought territory. So I do see a little bit of a pullback initially. However, again, I don't think it's going to be substantial by any means. Ethereum average price, if we get rid of those candles, you can see we are still currently putting in higher highs and higher lows, while the on balance volume continuously stacks up. However, we did get a slight pullback there. We are still very much stacking and sacking on the exchanges. Average directional movement, we are currently have a trend rating of 34. We don't know which direction that trend is going based off this one indicator, just the fact that we do have a strength building within a trend. Ultimate Oscillator, getting pretty high towards that 70 line of overbought. We are currently sitting at a 63 on that Ultimate Oscillator, where the parabolic stop and reversal, same thing as Bitcoin. We just did get that sell dot after seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 buy dots printed simultaneously. We did just get that switch to sell on our parabolic stop and reversal. Not going to spend a lot of time on our Fibonacci retracement. Our Hikaki candles, we did just get a unconfirmed bear signal, not today, but yesterday, so something to keep an eye on with that. And the Kopot curve, after seeing that bounce that we mentioned on April 1st, we've just continuously been seeing higher highs and higher lows put in as this keeps rising to the upside. Our historical data for Ethereum is sitting at just shy of 92%, 91.98. Solid. So we are going to leave today's video at that point. Now, with all that being said, if you are interested in obtaining this Genie range report, you can jump into the description and check out that link. I also linked the video earlier within this video that explains the Genie range report in detail. Go ahead and check that out. Grab your free trial, nothing to lose there, and make sure to join us here at Be Crypto Savvy as we jump in and do deep dives into this report on weekly basis. Looking forward to seeing you guys tomorrow on the next video at Be Crypto Savvy. We'll see you then.
Like, comment, and subscribe, yeah.